And it says we're live. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Blue Marble Science here today with Chike and Bev Try Thinking for a little discussion about horizontal and vertical. How you guys doing?
Fine, thank you very much. Good day.
Yeah, me too. Good evening.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me see. I'm going to put the screen like this so that everybody can see. Basically, just see you guys, see your avatars and what have you on Discord, and we'll swap back and forth as need be as far as whose screen we're watching. Contrary to what Emma just said a few minutes ago on Bev's channel, I did not set this up. This was between strictly Bev and Chike. All I did was offer my channel as a place to have this debate and offer to be a moderator, although I don't think much of that's going to be necessary. So essentially, I got no role in this other than to sit back and enjoy it like the rest of you guys. So with that, you two take it away. Tell me what you want to do.
Oh, you may have another role, and that's translating what I say to Bev. He does not understand me always, and maybe you'll need to translate Bev for me.
Okay.
Okay, translator. Can we discuss here, the starters, this is a debate. And being a debate, are we having the format of 10-minute openings, and then we'll go proof for proof from then on in?
What do you mean proof for proof? The proof.
Well, all right, a debate. We'll have the positions, the arguments.
Sure. Go ahead with your intro.
You want me to go with my introduction?
Sure.
Okay. I've got a bit of a video. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, share it and I'll put it up. Okay, got it.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me sort my screen out. Okay. 5-minute video.
You got audio, Bill?
Yes, he has.
I'm not hearing it. Why not?
Unmute his audio.
Keep it going. Let me see if I can get this sorted out. I had your audio just fine a while ago, Chike, but I'm not getting anything out of Bev.
You need to watch his video.
I am watching it.
I see mine. I thought you have some opening statement.
Yeah, can I just ask what the fuck was that, Bev?
That was the opening video. Model of Flicks and Blues.
That's not a video. Damn it! That's Jesus Christ, Bev.
World famous.
I object to that bullshit. World famous in whose mind?
This is my opening.
Not
statement.
mine.
Well, sorry. This is the debate.
Don't do that shit to me. You got it?
What do you mean?
Don't ever do that shit to me again, Bev.
This is a debate between me and Chike, isn't it?
Yeah, Bev, you said opening statement.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was the opening video. I'm going on now.
Opening statement?
Well, no, that was the video. The opening statement comes after that. But the host jumped in. So, yeah, that was the video that was made quite a bit ago about this very subject. I believe Buster does sing in that that perpendicularity is a problem to you, and that's what we're here tonight to talk about. Perpendicularity of vertical and horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
I do like say I've had debates. One with Fight the Flat Earth about level and the straight line. I've had a debate with our gracious host, Blue Marble Science, about level being horizontal and all horizontals being parallel. And tonight is vertical and horizontal being perpendicular. Now, this being a debate, I'm hoping that you will have an opposing position, and everybody knows that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular. And as Blue stated in his title, there's an except there. Well, I would say there are no exceptions. Vertical and horizontal are always perpendicular. That's where I'll go from there. Thank you very much. Bev, try thinking. Let's go. Over to you, Chike.
Perhaps. First, I don't recall any debate between you and Blue Marble Science. Was there such a thing, Blue?
Yes, there was.
I don't recall. I must have missed it. This will be a debate, Bev. I bring no bias towards vertical, no horizontal. That's on you. You make the claim. I refute your claim. That's a debate. I don't bring opposing model to yours. I refute your model. You understand?
My model of vertical and horizontal being perpendicular.
Yes.
That's the debate about that. Okay. So
yes.
I get it. Go on. You do
I
your
will
opening
not-
statement.
Well, not much to say. I'm Chike. I'm here to debate Bev on his horizontal and vertical being perpendicular, which he claims are independent of each other. And we will see how it goes. Now, the rules we use Euclid geometry, and that only. We won't use any dictionary definitions. We that have proof, he says. He always says there is geometric proof. You can prove it to yourself, but he never does. Today, he's going to do it here for the first time. He's going to prove that his horizontal and vertical are perpendicular. So please, Ben, do we need anything other than Euclid?
I don't know what you want me to make a case for vertical and horizontal being perpendicular. Is that what you're after?
Didn't you say they are?
Yeah, vertical and horizontal are perpendicular. Yes.
Okay. So
And
let's start with the definitions of vertical
okay.
and horizontal.
Have we got a channel over at? Do you want to use level is horizontal as a channel for posting stuff in?
Whichever, doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Start with horizontal first. I'm hoping you're going to be doing likewise. Okay, so like I said, we wanted to do proof for proof, but obviously I don't think you can do like a definition for definition, can you?
Bev,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do definitions. You're going to do the definitions. You're going to do the proof. You have a proof. You want the debate. That's simple.
Oh, you wanted the
I
debate.
I
yes, you did.
didn't
Blue Marble
Bev,
decided he wanted to host it.
Bev, I didn't say anything about vertical and horizontal. I'm not going to debate. That's not a debate. My definition against yours. I'm going to prove to you that your definitions can't be proven geometrically, as you claim you can.
Okay. Well,
So
here's
the
one.
first thing you do is you pull up a definition from a dictionary. Bev, I
Yes.
want you to define horizontal. Can you define horizontal?
Parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Now,
Horizontal. Yes.
parallel, you mean a straight line. Let's be clear. A straight line,
A plane.
horizontal,
Horizontal is a
is
plane.
a plane that is
Yes.
parallel to
To the
another
plane of the
plane.
horizon.
So you don't
Yes.
have enough planes. You now need another plane.
What do you want?
I don't know. What is this plane of the horizon?
What is the plane of the horizon? It is the thing that all horizontals parallel to.
What? That's great circular definition, Ben. You just committed a fallacy. You said, well, I asked you, what is horizontal? You said it's a plane parallel to the plane of the horizon. What is the plane of the horizon?
It's where it says here. It says horizontal.
I don't
right
care what it
angles,
says, Bev.
right
I
angles
don't.
to the vertical, parallel to level ground. Don't get
Bev,
tricky about this when it does say
Bev,
flat
Bev,
or level. A horizontal position. Being in a
Bev.
prone, a supine position, recumbent, near or on or parallel to the horizon. Measured or contained in a plane parallel to the horizon, a horizontal distance.
Bev.
Yeah.
Is words in the dictionary proof?
Yes.
Are they a proof?
No, you asked me
Are
for
they
the definitions.
Well, I'm
No, you
asking you
asked me
for
for
the
the definitions,
definition.
and I said, first off, we'll deal with the definitions. Yeah.
Yeah. So
are you all right with these horizontals?
Bev, stop talking about over me. You said horizontal plane. It's a plane parallel to the
You
plane
said you
of
wanted
the
me to state my case, and you give me some
well,
definitions. So I'm starting off with
no,
horizontal. These are
no.
the
You will give
definitions.
me one definition of horizontal, not
Okay.
13.
Okay. Well, this one here, Merriam-Webster. You like Merriam-Webster?
I don't
Is
care.
that a good dictionary of choice for
Bev,
you
it's your
guys?
definition.
Do you like it?
Bev, it's your definition.
Yeah. That one there. Parallel to, in the plane of, or operating in a plane parallel to the horizon or a baseline level, horizontal distance.
So it's a bit different from the other. Which one you choose, Bev? Let's not be all over the place.
Any of them, they all mean the same thing.
No. We'll not go all over them. You will pick one definition that satisfies your definition of the horizon.
No, it's not the definition of the horizon. This is the definition of horizontal.
Sorry. My bad.
Don't get tricky, right?
My bad.
Okay.
Your definition of horizontal. Pick one.
That one there. That was a good one.
Which one?
Which one? That one. Parallel to, in the plane of, or operating in a plane parallel to the horizon or to a baseline level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Parallel.
I think that's one of the best definitions. That's Merriam-Webster. Check it for yourself. Just to make sure I'm not lying.
Bev, hold on. Yep. This is not the Bev show. This is a debate back and forth. So parallel is a geometric term. No problem there.
Yep.
The plane of the horizon is not a geometric
term. A plane is a geometric term.
That's fine. The plane of the horizon, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what the plane of the horizon is. Well,
absolutely
turns out it's parallel to every horizontal. So
no, you need to no, it's not parallel to. That's all horizontal parallel to it. You forgot, Bev. You forgot. You can't base your definition on something and say that definition is based on the others. No. So what is the plane of the horizon? I know. What do you say? You have a plane parallel to another plane? That's what you say?
Do you know what the horizon is, right?
You know what? I don't know what the horizon is
Do you
because
not?
you keep changing your mind about what the horizon is. Tell me what the horizon is.
The horizon is an apparent position where the sky meets the ground or water or whatever it is, right? Now, the totality of that would form a plane, wouldn't it?
They thought, I don't know.
As
Can you
you
read?
as you
Can
as
you
you
read?
as you spin
Bev, Bev,
around,
Bev, Bev,
as you spin
can you
around.
read the definition from
What?
Euclid of totality define a plane?
Sorry.
You can use definitions, axioms, and proposition from Euclid that define totality as a plane. I don't know what you're
Can I
talking about. Can you speak geometry, Bev?
can I bring Blue in? Blue, can you translate what Chike's going on about? I can't seem to understand. Can you?
I've honestly been dealing with the chat and wasn't paying that much attention, Bev. What's the issue?
I don't know. Like Chike said at the beginning, you might be needed to translate. Chike, do you want to just explain to Blue, and then Blue might be able to reinterpret it
Maybe
for
you
us?
need to explain to Blue because it's me that don't understand what you're talking about. What is totality and how does it define the plane? I didn't read anything about totality in Euclid's book. You need to explain to me what it is based on what definition or proposition you say.
Go, Blue. Can you?
It sounded. I'm not sure where to go here, fellas.
Can you repeat your explanation of the plane of the horizon, Beth?
It's the totality of the horizon when you turn around through 360 degrees as you're spinning around, you know, like you do. When you do that, then the totality of that horizon would form a plane geometrically, because you start at one point and you end up at the same point. So that forms a plane, supposedly, doesn't it? I mean, that's what I'm using the base off, because of the horizontals being parallel to it.
Well, that's what you're asserting.
So, I don't know. Are you saying it's a circle, Beth?
No, I'm saying you spin around through 360. You, the person,
Me,
as you're looking.
I don't remember any definition of Euclid saying you spin around define a plane.
No, the horizon, the plane of the horizon.
Sure, the plane of the horizon.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Well, where are you? Because you're the person that's looking at the horizon. It's an apparent junction of the sky and whatever it is that you're.
Great.
It's meeting, maybe mountains, maybe buildings, maybe whatever.
Yeah, no. We're talking about true horizon. Okay.
True horizon. I can get you a definition of that as well.
No, don't need the definition. We're talking about true horizon. That's the sea horizon, right? The horizon over sea. And we're talking about horizon that is far away from land. We can't see land, only water and sky. And what they meet, it's the horizon.
Yeah.
Okay. So at least we agree on something.
I got it there. The boundary of a horizontal plane passing through a point of vision, the true horizon. Or two, in photogrammetry, the boundary of a horizontal plane passing through the perspective center of a lens system, true horizon. That one? Are you okay with that one? That's the Dictionary of Military and Associated Terms, the US Department of Defense 2005. that okay? The true horizon, the boundary
just
of a
said-
horizontal plane passing through a point of vision.
Bev,
Mhm.
I just said what true horizon is, and you agreed. Why you bring me this definition?
Because I was just to be clear about it, so we
I-
definitely
I-
understand which one we're talking about.
I get the feeling you're
Mhm.
trying to be as not clear as you can possibly be.
No, it says there the
So,
boundary
the
of a
true
horizontal
horizon,
plane. Yeah.
I don't care what it says about planes. We're talking about you in the ocean, mid-ocean, nothing but sea around you, and the horizon is the apparent place where the sky meet the water.
Well, no, you
All-
changed it to the true horizon. I've got the
Yeah.
definition of the true horizon to be the boundary of a horizontal plane passing through a point of vision.
What's a horizontal plane? We're trying to
It's just
define.
it's just the military and associated terms.
I
the
don't
dictionary of
don't
military
care
and
what
associated.
they say. You
I
will
know it's
explain
it's
to
US.
me.
You don't care about the US Department of
You
Defense.
yes, you need to explain to me what it is.
Can we have an override from the moderator, please?
Right.
Do we accept the Dictionary of Military and Associated Terms, U.S. Department of Defense, 2005, as a good enough definition for the true horizon?
No,
as
because
Chike wanted.
Bev, the dictionary is not here to clarify.
It's here. I've just
You
got
can
the clip.
invite
You
the
can have a look.
dictionary, and they can clarify to me what they wrote here.
Can we have a moderator decision here, please? on this?
And what moderator this?
We were talking about the horizon, but Chike wanted to change it to the true horizon. And while now I've brought up the definition of true
What
horizon, he
horizon?
seems to be
Wait.
upset about it.
Wait,
Doesn't want
what
to
horizon?
accept the definition of the
Wait,
dictionary of
what
military and
horizon?
associated terms.
What? No. What horizon were you talking about?
We were talking about the horizon, right? I was stood there explaining to you that you can turn around in a circle and see the totality of the horizon to form the horizontal plane. But you wanted to move it to the true horizon, and now the true horizon is defined as the boundary of a horizontal plane passing through a point of vision. So I guess you're accepting that it is a horizontal plane.
No, I'm not accepting it's a horizontal plane.
Okay. So can we have a moderator? Do you accept
You
the
not
US Department
clarify.
of Defense?
I'm not getting. I told you I will not get any definition from a dictionary. We will use Euclid definition. In your definition,
there's no Euclid definition for the true horizon.
Then
It
do
just
your
doesn't
best.
exist.
Then do your best to describe this plane.
I have already, and I've even
No,
given
you
you a
haven't.
dictionary definition of
You
it.
just said
Yes.
it's a plane. You don't.
It's a
explain
horizontal
what it-
plane passing through the point of vision.
We're trying to understand what horizontal is, and you say it's a horizontal plane.
It's a horizontal plane. Yeah, the true horizon is the boundary of a horizontal plane passing through a point of vision. It's there in the chat. You can have a look for it for yourself.
So it has nothing to do with the sea whatsoever.
Not that one doesn't. No, not the true horizon.
Well, you know what, Bev? I have.
It does say it's related to a horizon line. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, so can we now we've dealt with the horizontals and obviously the true horizon, horizontal planes. Can we move on to vertical?
No,
Bev.
No. I have a different definition for the.
Have you? Go on, let's see yours then.
You see my screen?
Can I see your screen?
Give me a second.
Have a look.
The true horizon is a theoretical line which can be only observed to any degree of accuracy when lies along relatively smooth surface such that of Earth's oceans.
Where's that?
Don't bring me dictionaries. Explain
that?
yourself, Bev.
What was
On my
that?
screen.
Where are you getting that from, Chike? I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either, Chike.
My bad.
Have you got a new PC, Chike? Nice. So this is the Horizon. Let's have a look. Theoretical line. Yeah, it's the US military says it's a horizontal plane.
This is Wikipedia. Says
Wow.
it's a lie.
Now, who's more trustable?
That's what I said. I don't care.
The
I
US
don't
military.
care.
I don't know.
That's why I don't care about
Yeah, I
no
know you don't.
dictionary definitions, Bev.
Just Wikipedia.
You make the definition. If you make a plane, explain to me how you make this plane.
Because it returns back on itself. Like wherever you start, you'll always end up at the same place, won't you?
And that makes it plane. I don't think. Hold on. I don't think that defines a plane. Hold on.
So is that what you've got a problem with? Because this is vertical and horizontal being perpendicular, the debate. And now you're having a problem with a plane?
A plane,
Yeah.
superficies, is that which any 2 points being taken, the straight line between them lies wholly on that superficies, has nothing to do with all around you.
Absolutely.
Anything that you say.
Okay. So any 2 points.
What is the plane?
Any 2 points on a horizontal plane will produce a horizontal line, won't they? Because you've got 2 points. So if you put 2 points anywhere on a horizontal plane, you produce a horizontal line.
Yeah, but you don't have.
That's exactly what that's talking about there.
But you don't have a plane yet, do you?
Well, the U.S. military says that the True Horizon
I
is
don't
a
care.
horizontal plane.
I don't care what the U.S. military says, because that was developed probably the past century, and I don't trust anything from past century. I trust Euclid. You will use Euclid. You define the points. You show me.
There's no horizontal. There is no horizontal in Euclid.
I know
so
there is no
have
horizontal.
To go past that then, right?
No. Well, if there's no horizontal, you can't make any vertical perpendicular to it, Bev.
Sorry?
If there is no horizontal,
there is horizontals in reality, though, right? That's the problem. Horizontal is a very reality term, right?
What is it? It's a term.
It's level.
What is it?
It's level. In reality, we call it level.
Horizontal
right?
is level. Horizontal is level.
Yes.
So why you
with
go
zero slope?
Hold on. Why you go far to the horizon and stupid definition when you can use level? I really get the feeling, Bev, that you try to confuse as much as possible, Bev. You're not being honest. You try to be dishonest as possible. If you said it's level, why did you go to the horizon that is so far away from us?
There. It says it there in the dictionary definition.
I don't fucking care what the dictionary says. I'm
Wow.
asking you.
No need
the dictionary is not here to clarify.
Well, it says there, right? That
I don't care.
We gotta take turns, guys. Come on now.
Yeah, you asked me to give you a definition of horizontal that I was to stick to, and I said parallel to, in the plane of, or operating in a plane parallel to the horizon, or to a baseline level. I did say it. It was in there right at the very beginning. So don't say I didn't say it. I did. But have we got the definitions of horizontal? Have we sorted yet? Because you definitely know that there is a horizontal, right? In reality.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't know about that. I know.
You don't know about horizontals in reality?
In reality, no.
Wow. Well, I don't know whether we can.
Unless someone established
You've
horizontal, I
accepted
don't
a
know about them.
debate for something that
They
you don't know about.
Listen, unless someone established horizontal, they don't exist in nature. The only thing that may exist in nature is vertical. For example, you can trace the trajectory of falling object. That would
I've got
be
a vertical. Definition of
that would.
vertical
I
since
don't
you bring
fucking
it
care,
up.
Bev. Let me
We're
finish.
doing. We do. Yeah,
Let
but
me finish.
okay.
Let me
We're going on
finish.
to vertical now. Then good.
No, I said vertical may exist because I know they may exist. For example, a spider hanging on its thread, if there's no wind, doesn't move, may create a vertical line. That exists in nature. Horizontals don't exist. I don't see them.
Right. Well, the whole point of this debate is vertical and horizontal being perpendicular. So
Yeah, and
the second definitions are vertical. Right now, this one, this is Merriam-Webster, says perpendicular to the plane of the horizon or to a primary axis, upright. So do you reckon that means perpendicular to the plane of the horizon or perpendicular to a primary axis?
No, I don't know, babe. Look, you need to prove us. You're here to have a geometric proof. Reading something from a dictionary is not a proof. You will need to find the proof for what the dictionary says.
Well, we're going over the definitions of the things that we're starting off with first. And you may notice that the first definitions of horizontal said parallel to and in the plane of, right? Now, they're geometric definitions. This one says for vertical, perpendicular to the plane of, right? So that's another geometric, definition, isn't it?
I don't fucking care. So you say because this is the geometric definition.
Well, it gives us a chance to build on it.
Because it says what I say, that's my geometric proof, Beth. Is this a geometric proof?
No. This is the definitions that we start off with at the beginning. We're building up the geometric case for these things.
Since you failed to define horizontal, let's say I can say by your definition
of horizontal.
the horizontal is a plane. Is that okay?
So the vertical plane. Are you going to have a perpendicular to the horizontal
I don't know about vertical
would be a vertical plane. You don't know about vertical planes either.
No, that would be you first try to prove a vertical line, then go ahead to a plane, okay?
We're just dealing with the definitions, but you've said, Chike,
I don't care about the definitions. We here to
you
debate.
Don't care about why did you ask me for the definitions?
Because I asked you for your definition. Don't read me 10, give me 1.
Yeah, well, we're starting off with the first one for vertical. We've just dealt with the horizontal ones. You said there was an overload of definitions. You couldn't handle it. So we're just dealing with this one.
So what is your final definition you choose
for vertical?
The definition? No, horizontal.
We've already dealt with horizontal, Chike.
Which one you choose? I'm not sure.
Do you want me to say it again? You want it? Okay. It's this one. It says parallel to, in the plane of, or operating in a plane parallel to the horizon or to a baseline level. And then it gives an example, a horizontal distance, which we may need later on in order to deal with our proofs.
Horizontal distance?
Yes, a horizontal distance, like a measurement, like a distance measurement.
Distance measurement? Why do we need measurements there?
For proofs, surely.
Are measurements proofs then?
Yes, they can be used within proofs. Yes, that's how we prove things.
Wait.
With measurements.
Hold your horses. So if I measure a circle,
can we deal with the definitions? Get the definitions out of the way.
Can you shut up for a second when I talk? It's not. It's not your show. You don't talk over me. So if I measure a circle to be 10.1 centimeters and you measure it to be 10.15, which one hold the proof?
The proof of what?
The proof for the circumference of the circle.
I'm not with you.
I measure a piece of wood to be 10.1 centimeters, and you measure it to be 10.15. Who of us holding the truth about the length of the wood?
I don't know. I wouldn't care, to be honest.
You wouldn't care.
So
So
I give you that one. You
wait,
say like
wait,
you
wait.
can have that one. You can be the wood measuring champ there, Chike. You can have that.
So you say there can be two truths, that it's both 1.1 and 1.15.
I wouldn't say that measuring a piece of wood has a truth to it.
Right. So why are you going to
Would
use
you?
measurements in your proof?
Well, you'll see when we get there, won't you?
I do you recall?
Would you not use measurements in any of your proofs?
I don't think Euclid used any in his proofs.
No, he didn't. He used
He
purely
didn't
logic,
use.
didn't he?
Then
Mhm.
right. That's what I want. The logic, Beth. I don't
I
want
doubt it. You
measurements.
could have. I doubt it. You could even understand logic at the minute, Chike.
Well, seems
see,
that you don't
It seems
understand
that
logic.
definitions are
Well,
incomprehensible for
you
you.
so your definition of the horizontal is a plane. That's it.
Yes, horizontal is definitely a plane.
A
Yes.
plane. That's
Mhm.
your geometric definition of horizontal.
Yeah, a line or a plane. Yes.
A line or a plane.
Yes.
That's the geometric definition.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
There, I'm glad. Now move on to vertical.
Okay. Vertical, definition of vertical. See whether you check with this one. Perpendicular to the plane of the horizon or to a primary axis upright. Now, obviously, the plane of the horizon being a horizontal plane, when you have perpendicular to a plane, that is another plane, isn't it? Obviously, perpendicular to a plane is perpendicular within itself. It's another plane.
So you're going to beg the questions according to some definition in dictionary?
No, it's
Are you
geometric.
going to show me? No, that's not geometric. I want you to define vertical.
There. Perpendicular
In reality,
to the plane of the
no,
horizon or to a primary axis.
No. In reality, Biff.
Yeah, that's in reality. That's where
That's in
verticals
reality.
exist in reality. Of course they do.
Really?
Mhm.
Really?
Yes.
I have perpendicular here.
Verticals definitely exist in reality.
So
Yeah, a plumb bob.
define vertical, a plumb bob.
Yes, in reality,
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let me help you with your definition.
But
okay?
a plumb bob would also be perpendicular to the plane of the horizon.
A plumb bob is not a geometric definition. Let me help you with that. The straight line connecting 2 points on the string or the thread of a plumb bob. Is that good definition for vertical?
Providing the plumb bob's suspended.
It's plumb, yes.
It's hanging. It is a perpendicle.
Well,
yes.
I could say this for your definition, a plumb bob.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not try to be too small.
My definition was perpendicular to the plane of the horizon or to a primary axis.
You try to beg
it just
the
so
question.
happens. It happens that a plumb bob is also the very same thing. Vertical and plumb are the same thing.
Well, we had the definition of a horizontal, which is a plane, and we have the definition of a plumb bob, which is a line. Now, can you prove me that those lines and this line and the plane are perpendicular?
You
Go
see?
ahead. Walk me through it.
Okay. the horizontal, or all horizontals, are parallel to the plane of the horizon, right? And
Absolutely.
verticals.
Don't need to
Verticals.
repeat it. Ignore
Verticals.
all.
Chike, will
Ignore
you let me
all.
finish? Don't ask
Bev,
me a question and then
ignore
interrupt
all.
me halfway through it.
No,
Moderator, what are you doing? Are you allowing
Bev,
Chike to just interrupt at any point he
Bev,
wants?
advanced
He starts asking
simplicity.
a question and then interrupts the answer.
Well, I'm letting you guys go at it. It's what I'm doing. But yeah, Chike, let him answer.
Okay.
Okay. So a horizontal, all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
You have proof
And
of that, right?
verticals are perpendicular to the plane of the horizon.
That,
Now,
no,
that perpendicularity and parallel means that they are perpendicular, at least defined that way within the Merriam-Webster dictionary, right? Now, what you're asking for is a geometric proof of perpendicularity, are you?
No. Bev, I asked for your definition of horizontals in reality and vertical. In reality, I don't care about what Merriam-Webster does. I don't care what Blue Marble Science says. Not his definition, not Merriam-Webster definition, that you have no clue what they're on about. Your definitions. In reality, what is horizontal and what is vertical. And so far we have a plane and the line that you have to prove are perpendicular, not by going to some dictionary, but by geometric proof that you say, that you have, and everyone can do.
Okay. Are you ready for me now then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, since horizontal is parallel to the plane of the horizon or a baseline level, then it is said that level, the tool, or all of the tools that exist in reality, are horizontal also, with zero slope and parallel to the plane of the horizon, because they are tools that establish horizontals.
What about the tools is horizontal to the plane of the horizon?
The water level, let's say, for instance, is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
I heard you say something different. I heard you say water level is a tool that establishes equal elevations.
Yes.
And how does it establish the horizontal from those elevations?
Well, it's the same elevation, isn't it? There's zero slope. There's no rise over run equation to be done, because the horizontal distance is the horizontal distance that you measure the vertical. You don't know.
No, I don't know. You need to prove it.
Wow, again. So you don't know horizontal planes, you don't know vertical planes, and you also don't know about this. Go on, sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, I know what it's not. Yes, and I know that a water level has two ends, and that's it. And of course, between 2 points, there is a straight line. I know that too. Now, can you prove that that straight line that go between 2 points or on a water level is perpendicular to plumb in reality?
Sorry, say that again. Blue, did you get that?
Yeah, he said, I thought, I would assume you would have heard that, but he said the two ends of a water level are at the same elevation. You can draw a line between those two, but can you prove that any point on that line is vertical, perpendicular?
Any point on the line? Well, the line would be horizontal, wouldn't it? So why would any point on it be vertical? Because it's a horizontal line.
I'm telling I think he said.
Yeah. Is that what you said, Chike?
Say it again, Chike.
That's why I was asking you.
The vertical is perpendicular to that line.
Yes.
Well, prove it.
Prove what? That vertical is perpendicular to horizontal? Or that plumb is perpendicular to level? Like, if we swap now?
No. You're trying to confuse. I'm trying to be simple.
Okay.
That the straight line that is between 2 points on the plumb of the string is perpendicular to the straight line between 2 points on the surface of the water of water level. Line and line. That's what you need to prove, that they are perpendicular.
Well, level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, obviously.
I don't think so.
You don't think level is a straight line?
No.
Or, on a plane?
No.
Okay. Do you think plumb is perpendicular to level?
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. Well, I'll tell you now. Plumb is perpendicular to level, just as vertical is perpendicular to horizontal. Now, you can be upset about my definitions of it, right, as much as you want, but you're asking me for my definition, and my definition is that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular, and plumb is the same as vertical. I think Blue, when me and Blue debated, Blue said that was one of his qualifiers, that plumb and vertical and zenith are all the same thing. Andy said the direction of the vector of gravity. Sorry, they're all four things are exactly the same. Now, plumb is perpendicular to level, and plumb is also perpendicular to horizontal.
No, I don't think plumb is perpendicular to level. I don't think level is a straight line.
You don't think plumb is perpendicular to level? Is that what you just said?
According to what I see,
I'm willing to hear you out. Go on.
Level is not a straight line at all. You ready, Bev?
Yeah, go on. Make your case.
Did we lose Chike?
No, you didn't. You remember that picture, right?
I'm sorry. Are you showing something?
Yeah, I'm showing.
Okay, you got to let me know.
See this picture, Bev?
Hang on a second. Let me get it up on the screen. Okay,
yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a good picture, that one, isn't it?
A great picture. Mm-hmm. Now, it's 90 miles. I mean, well, you can compete with that, right?
Where's it took from?
Winter Hill.
Nice.
1,200 feet elevation.
Did you take it?
No. Does it matter who take it, Bev?
Is it the one that Ranty took when Ranty went up Winter Hill? No.
Ranty didn't take any picture.
Ranty didn't go up Winter Hill, did he?
That it's irrelevant to this debate.
So who was it? Where did you cite this? Where are you going to source this picture from?
Oh, you want to see where I got it from?
No, I'm just saying, like, are you going to cite the person that took the picture to give him credit?
Sure. Give me a minute.
Not a scientist. Is that really you?
Yeah, that's me. The guy is Stephen Cheatley. Shout out to Stephen Cheatley for this picture. The picture was taken I don't know how you read this, the 3rd of June or the 6th of March. I'm not sure. We can go to the page and see. That's about it. 600 millimeters focal length. Been taken with Nikon D800E.
Yeah, he was a newspaper photographer, wasn't he? With a really good camera. Yeah. So go on. You're explaining how you think level curves.
You got your stream paused,
Mhm.
by the way,
Yeah,
Chike.
it's paused. Yeah. There you go.
Well, if you enlarge it, it's never paused. So I identified the 1,200 feet on the mountain, far in the distance. That's the Isle of Man. Actually, it's a bit above that point, because I didn't want to argue, do we see the whole mountain? Do we see half the mountain? Where should it be? I said, we see the whole mountain. That's where the 1,200 feet is. We have markers. We have 292 feet. That's the hub of the wind turbine. And we have 400 feet, which I derived from the size of Blackpool Tower and its elevation. So we get 400 feet there. And to the person, stand to it from the side, to the right of the picture,
Oh, have you gone?
Muppet vision, as you call it, it looks like this.
Is it who calls it? I don't call it that. Is that like
Yeah, it's
I
kind of-
call that an elevation profile.
Elevation profile, great. So we have the mountain that we know is standing goes is 1,200 feet. The datum sea level is below the again horizontal connects the two 1,200 feet elevation points. Below the horizontal, which you claim is horizontal, straight line, there is 1,200 feet. Below is the datum sea level, 0.
Where's
Now
that?
when we move
Have you got the datum on there?
on the bottom, the blue line is the datum, as much as I could figure out. So
Like it's
at the mountain,
have you got a sloping datum?
we got a sloping datum there.
You have, haven't
So
you?
at the mountains, this datum is 1,200 feet below the observer. The line that connects the 2 points crossed the tower at about 390 feet, and yet a bit further, it crossed the turbine at 290 feet. So, as you can see, those two levels are not a straight line. They are definitely not parallel to the equal elevation points. And all you said is bollocks.
All I said. What?
Yeah, that horizontal is parallel to level, which you said the 2 points connecting equal elevation points are horizontal. They are parallel to level, which we clearly see is not.
Yeah, but you've just shown that you've drawn a wonky datum line there. You've got
What do
that
you
blue
mean a
line is
wonky datum
pointing
line?
datum.
I placed the points that cross the straight line on the straight line, and I know
On what
their
straight line?
elevation about the datum, so I need to connect them, the 0, to those points. Do you get it, Bev?
What's the triangle destroyer on the right hand side doing?
That's the island. That's the
Oh, I thought that was like a Dalek or something like that. Shoot.
that's
Well, where's the blue line connect to that? Like, is it not
that's
referenced?
datum sea
Yeah, but
level, as you can see.
where is the datum?
What do you mean where is the datum?
Well,
I'm showing you
why
3
doesn't it
points.
go over here to you destroy your triangle? Why's the blue line? The datum stop there. I mean, it's wonky as fuck. Anyway, you've got
What
it
do you mean?
sloping.
Bev,
You've
I
got
got it
you've got your
sloping. I
sea
didn't
level
got it
datum
sloping.
sloping. Yeah, you have. That's your picture.
No,
Yes, it is. That's your
I
picture.
used.
You're
No,
presenting it
that's
right
your
now.
argument, Bev.
It's
You
not.
said,
This is your picture.
Bev,
I've not said any of this.
is the straight line connecting two equal elevation points horizontal?
Yes.
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 So that's the orange line. Horizontal.
No, it's not. No, the datum. The datum is a straight line, isn't it?
Can you make up your mind, Bev?
Yeah, datum. The datum.
Bev,
That's always a straight
you
line.
did not say that equal elevation points connect the line connect equal elevation points like in the water level is horizontal. Did you say it or not?
Yeah.
You did. So
Yes.
my drawing is right. Equal elevation points at the
With the
observer
water level.
and the Isle of Man. No, not water level. As
You can't go over to the Isle of Man. That's over water.
What?
The Isle of Man has its own separate datum, doesn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you not know?
No, I didn't.
Oh, the UK. The UK has a datum down in, I always get this wrong, Newlyn, down in the south of the UK.
Yeah.
The Isle of Man being a separate place will have its own datum.
You think so?
Yeah.
And how much this datum differ? You want to tell me that it's not the sea, it's not the water of the sea? How much do you think it's going to help you? What's the difference between the datums?
Well, it's its own datum. The same as Canada and America. You have a different datum.
What is the own datum of the Isle of Man?
I don't know. Have you, Jack?
This
is your argument.
You claim.
No, you're the one that. No.
You've
drawn the drawing with the slopey, wonky levels. The datums. I mean, like you did that.
You claim there is a different datum for the Isle of Man. Can I see it, please?
What?
Can I see this datum? What's its name? How is it called? Who uses it?
I haven't got a clue. You'll have to look into it. It's your
no, I'm not looking into it. It's your claim. You have no evidence for a claim. I will dismiss it.
Well, Ireland will have its own datum as well, won't it?
I don't know, babe.
France has a different datum. They won't have the same datum because they're reference to a point, a vertical datum.
Is the Isle of Man not part of England? Was it not surveyed by the Ordnance Survey?
It's an island, isn't it?
I don't fucking care. It's an island. Well, I care what datum it's measured against.
It's going to have its own sea level datum.
You now say that the sea level at the Blackpool is not the same sea level at the Isle of Man. That's what you say.
I'd say they're both referenced to their own separate datums. Yeah.
So how much do you think can be a difference between the newly?
No, they've got their own datums, Chike. It's like how much difference.
So you don't know? Shut up, babe. Don't bring it up and tell me there is a difference which I don't know. What I know is
you obviously don't know because you don't know much. You don't know about horizontal planes. You don't know about vertical planes. You don't know about perpendicularity.
Because I must not know anything about vertical and
you must not.
Must not. I mean epoche. Do you understand? In order not to strawman you, in order to I didn't finish. In order not to strawman you, in order not to force my definitions on you, I must not bring them to the argument. I attack your model, not mine, not your model against mine. Yes.
A vertical and horizontal.
Well, the model, the 2 points of equal elevation are horizontal. That's your model. And the plumb bob is vertical. I told you absolutely not.
You don't have 2 points of equal elevation being on a horizontal plane, do you know?
As I show you, babe, 2 points of equal elevation are not parallel to the water between Blackpool and the Isle of Man, or at least Blackpool and the turbine. They are not parallel. They are not on the same plane. Water. So what you say, but the elevation is equal. So what you say that the line is parallel to this water level is false. Therefore, I do not agree that it's perpendicular, because if it's perpendicular, which one is perpendicular to? The orange line, or which one of the line segments of the blue line? Tell me which one is it perpendicular to?
You've got a wonky datum, Chike. You've got a datum that's
I
sloping.
I used your definition.
What definition? Parallel to the
Definition
plane of
of
the horizon.
horizontal, Bev.
Yeah. So which plane of the horizon are you talking about there? Because all horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon. You've got, what have you got there? Have you got these horizontal, these differences in elevation?
Yeah, I got them marked on the
Okay.
tower, and
what are those differences in elevation referenced to?
you see the sea level, Bev.
A vertical datum.
Yes.
Okay. So all of those elevations are referenced to a vertical datum, and vertical is perpendicular to horizontal, isn't it?
That's for you to prove, Bev.
Yeah. Okay. So
This
we understand.
horizontal, your definition of horizontal, the straight line connecting two equal elevation points, prove wrong, because the two points between between the tower and the turbine is
What's a
not parallel.
turbine? What are you talking about now? Are you talking
Wind
about a
turbine.
picture? Can you sort of like put a cursor on the screen and let us know what you're talking about?
This.
Okay, so what's
See
what?
the turbine, you see the hub. I know their elevations. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I know the elevation
Can
of
you see
the
which they
tower.
are?
I know the elevation of the tower. I know its size. I can tell where 400 feet is counting pixels.
Where do you reckon 0 is in that picture?
The water.
Okay, but that's higher than the middle of Blackpool Tower, isn't it?
It is.
In the picture.
Yeah, it is.
So
But
would
the
you where
observer is
would you
like,
measure Blackpool Tower, the base of Blackpool Tower, from your 0 in that picture?
I don't need to measure it. Been measured. It's known.
It's known.
Known.
Okay. But in that
Yeah.
picture that you're referencing, it's higher than the base of Blackpool Tower, isn't it?
What does it matter, Bev? I'm
Because you're
connecting
trying to
a
reference
line
the
of,
picture, Chike.
yes, a
So,
straight line.
but the water is higher than halfway up Blackpool Tower, which it
Uh,
obviously
no, that's
isn't
called,
in reality. So
that's
you've got a problem between reality
well,
and your picture. There's a contradiction right in your
well,
face. Can you see it?
well, well. That's where you're wrong, Bev. It's not higher.
In the picture it is, and you're referencing the picture within it, all of your calculations and everything. When you drew your little model before, your elevation
That's called
profile,
that's
you
called
referenced the picture, didn't you?
that's called perspective, Bev.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. All I care about is the straight line connecting two equal elevation points, 1,200 feet, and the elevation it crossed in the way. And it crossed 400 feet one place, and it crossed 290 90 feet on the other place. And those lines, the datum below those lines, they are only the point I have. If I had more, I could know more about the datum. But I have only 2 points, 3 with Winter Hill, which we don't have water to, but it was carried there. So I can tell you clearly that level, what you call level, equal elevation, is never parallel to another equal elevation level.
Okay. So all those red lines there, could you call them horizontal? Or
No,
would
they are
they
just
be
markers of
parallel?
elevation.
Would they be
They are,
parallel to the
I can
plane of
call
the
them,
horizon
no,
and parallel to each other?
no.
No.
They are straight lines that
Mm-hmm.
are parallel to each other. Maybe I didn't make any.
What about the plane of the horizon?
I don't know what you're talking about still.
Would you say that there is a horizon in that picture?
You see, you try to distance yourself to the horizon when we established that the straight line
No, I'd
between
say, would you say
that
there
a
is a
straight
horizon
line,
in the
a
picture? Where
straight
would you have
line,
it?
they have a straight line, advanced
Mhm.
simplicity, a straight line between two equal elevation points is horizontal according to you. Why you need to go far as the horizon? We can see
I'd say,
almost.
like you've brought us a picture. I'm just trying to have past small talk. Do you think there's a horizon in that picture
Absolutely.
right now? Is it a straight line?
No, it's wavy.
Okay. And that's because it's the mountains in the background, isn't it? It's a
No, it's
topographic
wavy because
horizon.
there's wave in the.
No, you
the
don't
pic-
have a mid-picture horizon in there, do you?
What do you mean mid-picture horizon?
Well, the horizon is where the sky meets the land or the water or whatever. And quite clearly in that picture, there's
Well, I can go
mountains
by,
there.
well, if you insist, but you can't see past the water, past the wind turbines. You can't see past it. There's no
Yeah,
water
but the
after it,
horizon
even
would
though
be a topographic horizon, right? There is no mid-picture horizon there in that.
there's no sky horizon, but there's a horizon that obscure whatever is behind it.
But yeah, but the plane of the horizon, right? That's why I think they use
Is
the
it
plane
different?
of the horizon. Yeah.
Do you think if we took the mountain out of there, that anything would change about the horizon?
If we took the mountains out, yeah,
Yeah,
because
if we
the
blow it
mountains
up,
are a topographic horizon at the
we
minute.
if
Yes.
we
So like
reduce it.
it'd completely change it if there's no
So
mountains there.
if I reduce it to rebels, do you think the line that is the horizon here, the
The
meeting of
plane of the
air,
horizon,
the meeting of earth and the water would change one bit if we remove the Isle of Man?
right? If I don't go around destroying the Isle of Man, I don't advocate that. I quite like the Isle of Man.
It's
They have good bike racing on it, so don't class that.
Bev, it's a thought experiment.
Okay, right. Well, this is why I think they say the plane of the horizon, because quite obviously the horizon is shaped like a mountain.
Did you hear?
And that
What
wouldn't
you
be
just
much
said?
good for you to geometrically build anything upon. So the
Did,
plane of the horizon wouldn't change one bit because of your removal of the mountain, because that's why they use plane and not line of the horizon, right?
uh,
Specifically.
no. Did you realize what you just said? So this is why I think. You don't know. You think, Bev. You think
Yeah,
you didn't go
of
to
course I do.
clarify with them what they're
Try
saying.
thinking. Everybody should have a go.
Well,
At that.
you can try thinking all you want, but you can't bring it as fact because you think it.
Well, I would agree with you. Like the plane of the horizon is not altered at all by your theoretical removing of the Isle of Man viewed from 90 miles away. Look at that. It's a fantastic shot.
I wasn't
Look at the
talking about
size of
no
it.
plane. I was talking about the line separating the air and
Fantastic
the
camera.
water.
You know, that foreshortening that you can get with it once you have a good camera and a good lens. That's what he does. Like you wouldn't get that normally with any other camera. You wouldn't get it with the P1000.
Yeah, you can do it with P1000. Not as good, maybe.
Have you got a P1000, Chike?
Why would I? For what
Oh.
purpose?
So you say you can do it with a P1000. So I thought
Yes,
you had experience with a P1000.
Look, he has a bigger aperture, so he will make a clearer picture. But P1000 is pretty good. You can get a
Yeah,
picture
you can. You
almost
can
like this.
definitely see the Isle of Man, even from sea level.
Can you?
At Southport? Yeah, of course
I'd
you can.
like to see the Isle of Man from Southport.
Well, jolly good. There's plenty of videos out there. Well done.
I don't think so.
Yeah, my son's got one. Don't worry about it though. I mean, that's not what we're here for, right? You don't want to be checking out my son's
back to
photography.
this. Back to this.
Long distance
Let's recap.
photography, do you?
Let's recap. The
Let's
1200,
recap. Okay.
The 1200 feet elevation on the Isle of Man and the observer eye
Mhm.
are the same elevation, 1200 feet. There is a straight line that connects them. And this
And that
straight
straight line
line,
you're calling horizontal, are you?
no, you're calling it horizontal.
Me? No, this is
You see,
your
this
picture,
in
Chike.
no. Look at the quotes, Bev. I'm using your definitions of horizontal.
Oh, is that? Oh, right. Okay. Bunny ears. You're bunny earing horizontal as you're using it in a picture, in a diagram, in a
Yes,
debate.
that's not my definition.
It's
That's
not
your
your
definition.
definition, but it is
No,
your
that's
picture,
yours.
isn't it? It's
My
your picture,
picture.
your drawing, your writing, and your bunny ears that you're putting around horizontal.
Yeah.
Right. This is
So
your effort in the rebuttal to horizontal and vertical are perpendicular.
no, it's not my rebuttal. It's you need to prove it. You haven't proved shit yet. So
Well, you've got
we
this
have
picture. Why have you drawn this
no
picture?
my
If you're
picture.
not gonna
My
let me
picture.
explain the horizontal and vertical being perpendicular
No,
proof,
because
why are you doing this already?
you said
It sounds like you've got a rebuttal ready with this picture.
Bev, you said horizontal is parallel to level, and I'm just showing you it's not.
Horizontal, yeah, it is definitely.
I'm showing you it's not.
You show me by putting bunny ears round horizontal.
By establishing a horizontal
where's
the way you
level?
say.
Where's level?
Level is the datum, no?
What level's the blue line?
This what you call horizontal is equal elevation points. It's level.
So you're calling
Also
that
the
blue line
zero.
level, the datum oh, I see. The
Yes,
datum
the
sea level
datum
is
is level.
sloping.
The
Okay,
datum is
everybody,
level.
Chike
The
is
horizontal is
putting the
level.
blue line as being level, the slopey ones.
I'm sure everyone understands. You don't need to explain it to them. Maybe you're correct.
So where would you place vertical? Because that's what's the issue here, isn't it?
I need
The
to place
perpendicularity of vertical and
vertical.
horizontal.
I need to place vertical.
Well, yeah, because you're rebutting horizontal and vertical being perpendicular. All you seem to have done is drawn bunny ears around horizontal and then draw a sloping datum sea level. It slopes in two different grades. For some reason.
I'm just rebutting your claim that level is horizontal. What you call horizontal is also perpendicular to level, because we see neither of the levels is perpendicular to is parallel to each other.
Mm-hmm.
None of them is the orange line is not parallel to any of the blue lines, and any of the blue lines is not parallel to the other. That's it. Level is not parallel to horizontal, even by your definition.
No, my definition is level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. They're both inexplicably linked together. That's my definition of level.
You can't use.
No, you just said you've brought level into it, but the debate is vertical and horizontal are perpendicular, except right now, are you bringing Blue Marble Science? Are you bringing in or letting Chike to bring in except when level isn't horizontal? Because that's got nothing to do with perpendicularity of vertical and horizontal, has it?
No, is it? Listen, you just define horizontal and use the word horizontal in your definition. You know that doesn't work like that, right?
Horizontal and vertical are perpendicular, isn't the debate?
That's your claim. That's the debate.
Yes, that's the debate that you asked for.
You just said horizontal is a straight line on a horizontal plane. You use
the
definition.
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Here I show you it's not.
What?
On which plane?
That's what I say.
Which is the horizontal? Which
you said your definition, Chike, and I interrupted you and said that's not my definition of level. My definition of level is that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, but that's besides the point.
Again,
we're dealing with vertical and horizontal being perpendicular in this particular debate. You are opposing it. or seem to be opposing it by saying something about level, which I would say is a complete non sequitur.
Non sequitur how?
It just doesn't
You
follow.
said, Bev, that level is a line, is a straight line on horizontal. I'm showing you
I was
different
correcting
levels.
your definition
I'm
that you claimed
what is
for
your
me. I was just correcting you on that. But then I did say, don't know what it's got to do with the vertical and horizontal being perpendicular debate that we are supposed to be having. You seem to have got sidetracked a little bit.
No, because you said your horizontal is parallel to level. You said it.
We said it at the beginning that horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, didn't we?
No,
That's
that's
the
what you said.
definitions that we went with at
Yeah,
the beginning.
So basically,
like,
the plane
So
is the plane of
anytime
the
I bring
horizon.
in anything new, you're going to have a problem with it, even though there are multiple proofs for level
Yet we didn't see
horizontal and vertical being perpendicular.
Yet we didn't see one.
Because you haven't allowed me to go anywhere
You-
near the proof giving part, because you can't get past the definitional part.
Look,
We haven't even got to the geometric understanding of perpendicularity yet, have we?
no. We perfectly fine with that. Euclid defines it. You don't need to explain it to anyone.
Okay.
So what's your definition of horizontal?
How many times do you want me to go over this?
No,
Chike?
listen, Bev.
Do
You
you want
don't
me to
need
do
to
it again?
say.
I will.
You
I'll go
don't
back
wait,
over it again.
wait. You don't need to say parallel to the plane of the horizon. You can say the plane of the horizon.
Okay, I would say, if you really want me to go over it, I would say that all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. And through geometric reasoning, we can therefore say that all horizontals are parallel to each other. So there's no need to say that horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon or anything, because all horizontals are parallel to each other.
Good.
Just through geometric reasoning. But that's obviously going to take a little while to get used to.
No, all parallel planes are parallel to each other. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you prove they are perpendicular to vertical?
You measure them. First of all, what you need
measure
to do,
them. That's what I did here.
What you need to do, Chike, is you need to be able to establish a horizontal plane in reality. That's the first step. You need to know that you can do that, because you can definitely establish a vertical, can't you, Chike?
Absolutely, yes.
Right. So, can you establish a horizontal plane in reality?
I can.
Okay, good. Now, have you ever heard of a theorem called Pythagorean theorem?
Mm-hmm.
And that's based around the proportionality of sides are based around a right angle triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now that right angle is a 90-degree angle, right? And what we call perpendicular at right angles too. So if we can establish that the line at each end of a horizontal is perpendicular, then we can establish that the relationship between the horizontal and the vertical is a perpendicular relationship.
Go right ahead.
Yes.
Do you have such measurements?
Pythagorean right-angled triangles. Yes.
Well, I know the Pythagorean. Do you have any measurements that prove your assertion?
3, 4, 5. That's the
what?
That proves the. Have you? Well, actually, in order for you to prove the Pythagorean theorem, there are multiple proofs. It has the most proofs, if that's what you're looking for. The proof of the Pythagorean theorem.
Bev, establish your plane and prove that it's perpendicular. Establish your plane and prove that it's perpendicular to plan.
Yeah, I said this to spot on.
Thank you very much. Go ahead and do it. Don't tell us stories.
Well, as I say, I did say this to Spot On. Like, since when we did the original realizing Euclid test,
You
that was
didn't
to
do anything.
establish a horizontal plane. And I said to him the other day, I said, we're going to have to, because somebody's going to say, you're going to have to prove perpendicularity. And I said to him,
Yeah.
I said, how would we do it? And we've already planned to extend the realizing Euclid test to include perpendicularity.
Mhm.
So, yes,
So,
it
Bev,
will be getting done, but
Bev.
not just tonight, Chike.
Bev,
What have you got to say
Bev,
that
we're
it
not
won't,
here.
can't be done?
We're not here to hear stories about something you never done. You never
Well, we
presented.
did do the
And,
realizing
well, I
Euclid
know
test
you say
to
you
establish
did.
the horizontal
I
plane.
know you say you did,
Yeah.
but you never showed any evidence you did it, or that what you say you did is what really happened. No evidence, dismissed. I don't want to talk about things you didn't do.
Okay. So I would just say, though, if anybody else is interested, we do have a test to present
Again, you
for
repeat it.
the
Instead of
horizontal.
proving
Chike,
your,
why are you just interrupting me?
because
Why
you're
you
not
Hey,
proving the vertical, Bev.
Chike,
give him a chance now, Chike. Come on.
He's not trying.
I'm at least trying to say
I
that we
don't
have
care
done
about
the
your stories.
what's going on here, Blue?
Okay, guys.
Your
Come on.
test.
Control your
I'm
man. Come on.
trying. I'm doing the best I can. Don't talk over me, too. Chike, you got to let him answer. Don't
Okay.
talk over him. You don't want him talking over you. Don't talk over him. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, it's nearly 2 years ago we did the realizing Euclid test to establish a horizontal plane, and that a water level can in fact do that. But we used proposition 1. Now, proposition 2 within book 11 in Euclid is the plane, 3 points, which obviously the water level can do. But I was saying to Spot On that we can extend that to include the perpendicularity test. So the realizing Euclid test this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the level, we will be live out there doing the extension to the realizing Euclid test, perpendicularity. Now, Chike, the reason we didn't do it, well, we did broadcast it. It was live when we did it, but we did it live to the Discord. We didn't make a big, massive deal out of it because it was a test for us to work out how we all work together. So we did the realizing Euclid test, me and Spot On, and everything worked absolutely perfectly. Yeah, look, Doofus is posting it there.
Yeah.
That's
Can we not?
that's the model of the test. So if you
The
want a model,
model.
yeah.
Your affliction. I get it.
No,
So
that's the water
I don't.
level test. That's the
Bev,
realizing
Bev, we
Euclid
heard
test
enough about
with
the
the
things
model of
you
the
never did.
realizing Euclid test. And this
Bev,
year we will be putting the
again, you repeat it.
perpendicularity to the horizontal plane,
You will repeat
like
it again,
Chike's
Bev.
just asked us to. So
No, I did ask
Chike can
you.
do it as well. You Blue Marble
I
scientists can
know
all
I
get
can do
on
it.
it as
Yeah,
well
sure.
and disprove it. Actually,
Bev,
you could. That's what you should be doing. You should be getting
Bev,
all out there and
Bev, you're
trying to
still talking.
disprove it.
Are you still talking about
Well, I
something
was,
you
yeah.
didn't do and something you're
No,
not
we
going to
did do
do?
it.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
You have
we
no
did.
evidence you did.
Yes, we have. We've got all the
Then
filming of it.
let's see it. Why is it not published, Bev?
Because it was a private test for
Because
us.
a private test that you talk
Yes.
about all the time, but don't publish, Bev. So until I saw the video,
Well, you can come
can
into
you
the
please
Discord
stop
and get a
talking about
private.
it?
If anybody
Can
does
you-
want to come and talk or see any
Nobody
of the
wants
footage or
to talk
anything
to you because
that we did
you're
about the
impossible to talk
realizing
to.
Euclid test,
You just
you're
avoiding.
quite free to come to the on the level Discord server.
You're avoiding the conversation. Can you now prove that your horizontal and vertical are perpendicular without mentioning any tests?
Without mentioning what? So how do you want me to prove it to you, Chike, that vertical and horizontal are
Like you
perpendicular?
said, just like you said, Bev.
Geometrically. Okay. So
geometric proof don't need
as
measurement.
everybody knows that a horizontal plane is parallel to the plane of the horizon,
So you have
and a vertical is perpendicular to the plane of the horizon, then
Yes,
geometrically, vertical and horizontal are perpendicular to each other. Them being planes means that the planar relationship of parallel horizontals works with all of the perpendiculars being to that plane will be parallel. That's a known geometric statement.
no,
right?
it's not known to me because it's not defined in Euclid. There,
What isn't defined in Euclid?
all the garbage that you just said. That all horizontals parallel to the plane of the horizon that's not defined by Euclid are parallel to each other. That was never proved by Euclid. So you said nothing, a lot of nothing. Talk geometry, Bev.
A plane is perpendicular to a plane when the straight lines drawn in one of the planes perpendicular to the common section of the two planes are perpendicular to the other plane.
You want to go with the plane now? I suggest you because you'll have to do it in two ways. Can you just do a line, Bev?
We just do a line of what?
Perpendicular to a line.
A line perpendicular to a line.
Yeah. Proof.
A plane as well, yeah. The line can be on a plane.
Yeah, but if you choose a plane, you need to prove that that one line is perpendicular to two lines.
What about this one? If two straight lines be at right angles to the same plane, they shall be parallel to one another. That'd be a good one to do, wouldn't it? That's proposition
Great,
6.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
So vertical and horizontal being perpendicular would mean that the verticals would be perpendicular to the horizontal plane.
Go ahead then. Prove it.
That verticals, two verticals perpendicular. Realizing Euclid test this year.
Again?
We've already presented the
Bev,
horizontal
again, I
plane.
don't care.
Well, you've just asked us to do it.
No, I asked you to prove it now. Geometrically, as you say.
Okay, so that you establish a horizontal plane, right? Everybody can understand what a horizontal plane is.
How do I establish it?
It would be classed as mathematically the XY plane.
Bev, how do I establish horizontal plane?
An XY plane, mathematically.
No, in reality,
I'd
Bev,
use a level.
I don't care about math.
Levels are tools to establish horizontal planes in reality.
How do you establish horizontal plane?
You're talking about an auto level, Bill?
With a level.
An auto level, right?
A tool, yes, a tool called a level.
An auto level.
Yeah, level.
Auto level.
You just keep saying a level, not a water level.
Any level. Any level will establish a horizontal plane of reference.
We don't know that.
What? Yeah, we do.
No,
That's why they call levels.
No, we actually
That's
don't.
what the tool a level is.
We actually don't. We know.
You don't know.
We know a water level will establish points of equal elevation. We do not know
a horizontal plane of reference. Yeah.
We do not know that is horizontal, and you have no proof of it.
Well, yeah, water level is the standard, isn't it?
In fact, Blue Marble showed you it isn't.
Isn't the water level the standard?
I don't care what it is, Bev.
Isn't the water level the standard for what? For finding points of equal elevation?
For level.
For finding points of equal elevation, it can be used for that.
For level.
It doesn't operate the same way as an auto level.
It does.
Auto level does not do that. Auto level is an optical device. A water level is a physical entity.
They're both levels.
They both have the word level in their name.
Yes.
One says water first. The other one says auto first. They're not the same.
Well, yeah, they're not the same tool, no, because they're different tools. But they're both levels, and as such, they are tools for establishing horizontal planes.
No, they're not.
Yeah, there's no slope to a water level, and there's no slope to a horizontal plane.
Okay, I have more evidence. But
Okay. Is this one of the reasons you think vertical and horizontal can't be perpendicular? Have you got a? Is that, you know? Because like I'd say, the horizontal plane established by a level, perpendicular to that would be vertical. But that's your vertical datum that you measure for elevation changes.
So here again, Bev, I established 3 points of equal elevation at different distances. One at the tower, one at the turbine, and one at the mountain. And when you look from the side on these 3 level points,
Is that your elevation profile, though?
when you look at those 3 points, you see that
Is
the
that an
lines
elevation profile?
connect. No. When you look at
No.
those 3 points,
Have you got an elevation profile?
Bev, and when you
Looks
look
weird.
at those 3 points, you see the straight line connecting them are not parallel to each other. So what are you talking about? Which of them is horizontal? Which one of them is perpendicular to your vertical?
Which one of your slope lines?
And I want to remind you,
You've got what you're saying that all of those 3 lines are sloping, and you're asking what? Oh, you've got another one.
and
Well,
I
so you've
want to
got a load
remind
of
you,
these presented, haven't you?
and
These are your rebuttals to
why
what are these
to your
rebuttals to?
claims
What claim?
to the claims that you make
That
about
vertical and horizontal are
that
perpendicular.
you haven't proved nothing yet. All your
No, but
claims about
what is this?
horizontal,
What are these
all the
pictures meant
claims,
to be?
Bev, I'm speaking. I'm
You've just
answering
drawn
your question.
loads of triangles. I mean,
I'm
what's it
answering you.
about?
You ask what I'm showing. I'm showing you that your horizontals are even not parallel to each other. That's your claim.
Which horizontals? That's not my picture. I
the
didn't draw
levels.
any of those lines. I've never made any argument that you're talking about. I
I
don't know
know
what
you
you're talking
haven't
about.
because you're very cautious not to look at reality, but I do.
Yeah, but this is a picture that you've got from a photographer in the
Yeah.
UK,
Mm-hmm.
right? Drawn lines on it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're here having a debate with me
I didn't just put
about
lines on
vertical
it.
and horizontal being perpendicular.
I
And I'm
didn't just,
struggling to understand what your argument is.
Bev, that what you try to present as a premise is false.
What, that vertical and horizontal are
Not
perpendicular?
that horizontals are parallel to each other.
We're just talking about vertical and horizontal being
So,
perpendicular.
well,
I had the horizontals
so
being
please don't
parallel
say
debate with
anything.
blue.
So please don't say anything about horizontals being parallel to each other or anything else.
That was a
Okay?
different debate.
So go ahead and prove now that horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. You have a line connecting 2 points on a level. You have plumb bob. Now prove that those are perpendicular.
What, that plumb and level are perpendicular, or that vertical and horizontal
What is
are
horizontal?
perpendicular? What are you talking about, Chike?
What is
Can you please
horizontal,
make your
Bev?
mind up what you want this
So now
debate to
what
be
is
about?
horizontal?
You're
So what is
all over the place, Chike.
Okay. So prove that plumb and horizontal are perpendicular.
Plumb and horizontal.
Don't mention level. I warn you.
Okay, well, you establish a horizontal plane in reality,
How?
right? And then what you do at position A at one end of the horizontal plane, you establish your plumb bob. Then what you can do is you can then get another plumb bob at the other end of the horizontal plane and establish that. Then what you could do, if you wanted to, you could use the Pythagorean theorem to make sure that they were at right angles to the horizontal plane that you've already established as a straight line horizontal plane.
So
And then you can be absolutely certain through the Pythagorean theorem geometrically that those two lines are perpendicular to the horizontal plane, thus establishing both of those two lines would be plumb lines, which they obviously are because they were plumb lines to start off with.
Okay,
So
I
was the
don't
horizontal.
Bev, I'm not interested of what I can do. I want you to do it.
Easy. I bet
Yeah.
there's thousands of people that do it daily.
I don't care about thousands of people. I want you to do it.
Well, we will. Thank you very much for
I
the
don't want
inspiration,
will.
Chike.
I
Can we
don't
start the
want
GoFundMe
will.
now? Can we get going?
I thought I'll have geometric proof, which measurements are not.
What, the Pythagorean theorem is not a
No,
geometric proof to you?
no.
No.
Geometric proofs are not
Oh,
measurements.
I mean,
A logical proof don't require measurements. They follow
okay.
the logic of geometry.
Could you not
And
follow
you
what
don't.
I just expressed then logically?
No, I can't follow what you
Establishing
express.
the
You
horizontal
didn't.
plane.
You didn't establish a horizontal plane. You didn't establish a plumb bob, and you didn't make a logical argument that they are perpendicular. You failed on all three.
Well, that's maybe your delusional state of mind, Chike. But I don't know what your argument is. Do you have an opposing argument, as in a debate format?
My opposing argument was that you have no proof to what you said. That was my argument.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you call horizontal and vertical are not perpendicular.
Horizontal and vertical are perpendicular.
I showed you, I brought evidence, they are not.
Okay, you brought evidence to say that.
Evidence.
I don't
yes.
know. Can you
the thing
state
you
that?
wanted
Can you
to
state
do,
that
Beth.
clearly? I'll sit back. Go on.
The
Can
thing
state...
you wanted to do, to go and do measurements. That's what I did. Those are not proofs. These are evidence. I never claimed to have a proof. But I'll prove that you don't have any proof.
You don't think there's any proof of vertical and horizontal being perpendicular in reality, do you know?
I'm quite sure there isn't, not according to your definitions. There is no proof. There is not possible to be a proof. That's why you can search the internet all day long and you won't find them.
Have you seriously never considered what a proof is?
I have.
Okay.
And the proof is following the premise and the rules of the language you use and make and reason that what you say is true, just like Euclid does in his book.
Yeah, that's like scientific.
He set definitions, axioms, and according to them, he make all his proofs. Or you can use something that he already proved in another proof, but not beforehand. That's illogical. That's why I told you I don't bring my bias. I don't tell you what vertical is. None of that. You will define your vertical, your horizontal, and you will give us the geometric proof, not measurements, that they are perpendicular, which you haven't until this time. How long we into the debate? Wow, hour and 45 minutes. It
Yeah,
should
you've
be
done a lot of
10
talking,
minutes.
Chike.
No, you done a lot of talking about your test bed.
Can you see this in the chat?
Yeah, and why should I give a fuck?
Wow.
Where
That's
in the
what we
chat?
call an elevation profile. In level is horizontal.
Okay. All right.
Is
Got it.
this a geometric proof, Beth?
As you can see, this is why I was talking about elevation profiles, and anybody can check this for themselves. Always the baseline is a straight line, as you can see, and it says distance in kilometers. So all distances are a horizontal distance, like we mentioned earlier before when in the definitions that we were dealing
Why you
with.
bring elevation profile? I thought we're not going to talk about levels.
It's a horizontal distance, that distance in kilometers.
No,
and then it has the elevation in meters, which is perpendicular to it, and that's measured as a vertical datum, right? You know that.
Yeah,
the vertical datum is the elevations.
But we don't want to talk about elevations,
but it's
right?
reference to the
We don't want to talk
horizontal.
about. But we don't want to
perpendicular
talk about elevations. You objected to me talking about elevations.
No, the vertical.
You want to talk on the horizontal, on the plane of the horizon.
Vertical.
So please talk about the plane of the horizon.
No, we're talking about the elevations measured on a vertical datum.
You said you don't want to talk about elevation.
No, but that is the vertical.
No, you said you don't want to talk. Why am I bringing elevations into this?
Chike, this debate is about vertical and horizontal being.
I know what it is about. Since you don't have
elevations are measured on a vertical datum, and on the elevation profile that you see there, and every other elevation profile that you'll ever see, they are always referenced to a perpendicular, which is obviously the distance, and that's a straight line horizontal distance as referenced within the horizontal definition earlier.
Well, actually, isn't that a straight line elevation, the datum? Isn't that just a constant elevation, Beth?
The zero would be
zero is constant all the way through, so it doesn't matter what shape zero is, because what you're measuring is an elevation above that datum. So the datum could have any kind of shape it wants to. All you're measuring is the distance above that datum.
But
just because you draw it for convenience, just because they draw it as a straight line doesn't necessarily mean it is. Doesn't have to be.
Nice of you to
Could be a circle.
Yeah. But on these elevation profiles and any other elevation profile that you will ever see, all of the verticals will always be perpendicular to the horizontal baseline. As we said, this is a debate about horizontal and vertical being perpendicular, and it can be expressed in every elevation profile that you'll ever see.
Bev, that is not reality.
It is. That's all of the elevation profiles are in reality. Yes.
Bev, that's not reality. That's drawing. My picture is.
That's an elevation profile.
I know it's an elevation profile. You don't need to repeat it. I got it. Okay. This is a drawing on paper or in computer graphics. My picture is reality. I thought you object to talk about level because we're talking about horizontal, perpendicular to vertical. Why do you bring level again?
It's elevation profiles showing you that all the verticals are perpendicular to the horizontal.
That's a graph. What do I care? I'm talking in reality, Bev.
It's an elevation profile. Yeah.
I don't care that it's an elevation profile. That's not reality. That's elevation profile. Elevation profile
all
exists in nature.
And draftsmen will always do.
Elevation profiles exist in reality.
Yes, they do.
Where? Show me where in reality you see elevation profiles.
Every draftsman's table or
I don't care about draftsmen. I want to see in reality, in nature.
They make them into buildings. Have you ever seen why they make elevation profiles?
So we can use
for construction purposes.
We can use drawing.
They end up with something.
We can use drawing, Bev, between equal elevation points. Is that okay with you?
You asked, this is a debate about vertical and horizontal.
Again, you will tell me what this debate is about, Bev. I know what it's about. You forgot what it's about. You bring me a picture and you say the vertical datum is drawn perpendicular to the straight line, and that proves something about reality, Bev.
There you go.
Are you that stupid? Is that the best you can come with?
This one has a horizontal scale and a vertical scale. Two different scales, but they're always perpendicular. The verticals within the elevation profile are always perpendicular to the verticals and the horizontals. I mean, it's there for you to see. Are you denying?
There you see it, Bev. Now it's not straight. What say you about this?
What I see about? Oh, look.
About this, it's not straight.
Look
so I draw it. Done. I made the curved out of it.
Put a hump.
Does it? I doesn't matter, Bev.
Put a hump in it.
Does what I did reflect anything about reality?
Well, it shows how dishonest you are. You go to bending an elevation profile.
That you can draw anything.
In the middle of a fucking debate. What do you think about that, Blue? Blue Marble Science. What do you think about that? As a rebuttal from a sophist.
I don't much care for the name calling. If you want to know the truth, can you tell me why you would draw it any other way than realizing that drawing you're showing us was made many, many years ago, probably well before the time of CAD systems? Can you tell me what, how you would go about actually depicting the curvature of the Earth if you wanted to on that scale, Beth?
There's no slope to a horizontal. It's dead easy to show.
Do you think you could do that with an elevation profile, even stretching over 75 kilometers? Do you think you could actually physically on a drawing board represent that as an arc segment of a 3959 mile radius, 6,300 kilometer radius sphere?
It's the Panama Canal.
Would it be possible to make the drawing actually?
It's the Panama Canal, Blue. And all of the perpendiculars, horizontal and vertical, every one of them.
Would
all
it
of
be
the
possible
gates,
to draw it any other way? Bev,
the gates, Blue.
Can you answer my question?
The gates would be vertical, and the water level would be considered as a horizontal, therefore being perpendicular to it.
Can you answer my question, please? Would it be physically possible on a drawing board to draw a to-scale arc representing the shape of the Earth?
This is a canal system, Blue. It's horizontal.
I don't care what it is, Bev. Can you draw at that scale on a drawing board? Could a draftsman? What tool do you have in your toolkit as a draftsman to draw circles or arcs? What do you have?
It's a horizontal, Blue. Well, why would you want to curve it? It's a horizontal. Horizontals are straight lines.
And all you're trying to
horizontals are straight lines.
And all you're trying to represent, Bev, is the height above a datum. It doesn't matter what shape the datum is. You only want to know the distance above it.
The horizontal is a straight line, Blue. There's no curvature to it.
The Earth is not a straight line, Bev. The Earth is a sphere.
This is a canal system.
Yeah, and that water in that canal is curving too, matching the curvature of the Earth. Look it up in Merriam-Webster dictionary, sir.
Are you sure this is a wise decision you accepting to have this vertical and horizontal perpendicular debate here, Blue?
That's what I
seems to be upsetting you. I'm sorry, I didn't want to upset you about that.
That's what I wanted.
Do you want me to go away and leave you with the Chike?
No, please stay.
You can bend all of the elevation profiles.
We're enjoying
to don't worry about it. I didn't want to upset
denial that you're not addressing the questions that people ask you, even though I heard you say that you will answer any question. If you didn't understand it, you ask for clarification because you like to answer questions. But you never ask questions. You never answer the question you've been asked. You answer the question you're not being asked. I'm asking you, why do you bring level, Bev, when you objected for me using level?
The horizontal scale and the vertical scale within this
particular
I didn't
ask you about the horizontal scale. nor on the vertical
Would
scale.
you-
I
would
asked
you
you
bend
about why
LIGO as
do you
well,
bring
Chike?
level
'Cause
into
I
this
think that's pretty
argument
dishonest,
after
really.
you said that level has nothing to do with it with this argument, only horizontal and perpendicular. And do you think that showing that someone draws something as he draws it on paper is anyway some kind of logical argument, reasoning? Do you find this logic?
As far as I'm aware, Chike, right, this is a debate about vertical and horizontal being
Yes, it
perpendicular.
is.
I showed you an elevation profile where
I don't
vertical and
care about
horizontals
them.
were perpendicular.
I
And
don't
you
care
bent
about
it.
them. I bent it because I showed you that if I want, I'll draw it bent.
Pretty dishonest, that.
The
Really.
way
Rather
someone
afflicting.
draws something,
What made you
the
bend
way
it?
someone draws something on paper does not change reality or have to reflect reality exactly as it is. It
Yeah, I
don't.
know.
So you know. So please back to your
Yeah,
horizontal and
level will
vertical.
still be horizontal. Like,
So
no matter how much you
now
bend
you
elevation
bring
profiles,
level
it
again.
makes no
After I
difference.
said level is horizontal, you said why you bring level. Now you say level is horizontal again, Bev. You bring it. So let's go to the level is horizontal again.
I want to go back to the level is horizontal again.
Because you brought it.
Okay.
We have a level line, which is the water here, and the water here, which you claim is level. However, they're not parallel to each other. Tell me now why I'm talking about level, Bev.
I don't know what you're talking about level.
Why? You don't know why? Because you
What's your
said,
definition of
because
level?
you said level is a horizontal line.
Yeah, level is a
That's
straight
why I
line
brought
on
it.
the
When I
horizontal
bring
plane.
the horizontal is level, you object from me for being level because we talk about horizontal and perpendicular. So I'm asking you, we have three horizontals there. They are all level. You agree that the sea is level? Absolutely, I'm sure. And you'll agree that two 1200 feet elevations are level, and none of them is parallel to the other. Which one are you going to compare your vertical to, Bev?
Any one of them.
That's good. So start with one.
Start with one. What? The horizontal is perpendicular to vertical.
Choose any of the levels that are horizontal.
Do you know?
And prove me.
Do you
and
know
prove
how we
me.
do geometrically? We establish
Bev,
we establish a
show me.
perpendicular in reality.
Show me that your plumb is perpendicular to any of those lines. Geometric proof.
Of perpendicularity.
I know. Bev, prove it.
Yeah. So would you accept the Pythagorean theorem in reality as a geometric proof?
I don't know what you're talking about here.
Or what would you accept
Bev,
also
I have here
showing parallels
I have here
with a perpendicular at either
Bev,
end?
I have here three equal elevation lines, what you will call level, that you claim are horizontal, and none of them is parallel to the other. So please choose one of them and prove that the plumb is perpendicular to it.
Plum's perpendicular to horizontal, or plum's perpendicular
Bev,
to
go
level.
ahead and prove it geometrically. You dancing around. You're not answering
I've
the
already
question.
been over this, Chike.
No,
just
you
keep repeating
haven't been
yourself.
over it. We didn't see geometric proof. You want to see how geometric proof looks like? Let's go to your friend Euclid.
Okay. So you want geometric proof of horizontal? First, is that what you're asking for? Or can we assume that everybody understands what a horizontal plane is?
We don't need to assume anything about anyone. As long as we understand them, it's okay. They can do homework if they wish.
Okay, so we're talking about you particularly, because at the beginning of this debate, you said that you didn't understand what a horizontal plane was.
See how it goes as a proposition to describe an equilateral triangle upon a given finite straight line. Given.
Yes, so that's horizontal, right?
This sought. No. So
yes.
tell me what's given.
That would be your given to start off with, your
what is
horizontal
given,
plane.
What is given, what is sought, and then go ahead and prove it, Bev.
Okay. So what would be given would be the horizontal plane, because everybody knows that we can definitely establish a horizontal plane in reality, right? That's a given.
I don't know how.
And also, what also would be a given is that a plumb line can be established by a tool at the plumb line. Plumb bob.
Bev, let's not yet assume what everyone knows. Okay? You don't know what everyone knows.
Well,
what
you
their
said
claims
that
are.
we could have givens. But are you saying that horizontal and vertical aren't givens now? As in the tool, the level isn't a given
No,
for
I asked you to
establishing a
define them because
horizontal,
they are not given.
and that a plumb bob is not a given for establishing a vertical
the
frame
plumb
of
bob is
reference.
definitely a given.
Okay, right. So we can have the plumb bob as establishing a vertical.
Great. So
right now,
wait,
are we going to have a given, Chike, that the vertical plane can be extended?
That's absolutely fine.
Okay, so we can establish a vertical plane in reality.
A vertical plane?
Yes.
I thought we were talking about horizontal. Why you go to vertical plane?
Because you said the vertical is a given, and we're just trying to work
I
out
agree.
what you establish as a baseline for your established givens, and you're going to give us a vertical being established by a plumb bob. Now, will you give us that vertical established by a plumb bob can be extended to a plane?
No. No. That you will have to prove. That you will have to prove.
A vertical line cannot be extended to a vertical plane.
What do you mean
Chike?
Extended to a plane?
Well, see, the geometric propositions of all of these things that you've learned through Euclid, right, get extended to the plane. Now, that plane geometry extends to vertical planes in reality, just as it does to horizontal planes, and any plane at any angle that you want to establish.
What is extended to a plane mean? It's a line.
It means, can you extend the vertical line to a vertical plane? Chike.
Line is a line, Dave. You can't make it a plane.
Yes, you can. Of course you can.
Which definition, axiom, proposition, please, in Euclid?
The square, the plane extended by length and breadth.
Well, line don't have length and breadth.
The line has length. The plane has length and breadth. And when you extend that to reality, the third dimension, you enter the third plane, right? The vertical. You come from the plane and extend it into the third dimension, i.e. reality. I'm asking you, can you extend your vertical line into a vertical plane?
I don't know, Bev.
You don't know.
No,
I don't know what I'm doing here, Blue Marble. Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry. I don't know why you accepted this.
You want me to agree with you
to have this debate.
You want me to agree with you. You want me to agree with you that you can extend the plumb bob. You can simply say add length to it or add breadth to it. Okay. So we will add breadth to the plumb bob. And now I don't know. If we check it against this plane, which has, I assume, straight line boundaries. Let's say we make a rectangle out of it, and I'm not sure that the plumb bob will be still parallel to the other side. I have no idea, so I can't say anything about the plane, nor can you.
Okay, so can we play around with geometric shapes for a moment? Can you exist a straight line from A to B? Give it a length, however much you want, theoretical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that possible? That we can have a straight line length from A to B? Call it 10.
Well, you can have a straight
Oh,
line,
actually,
straight
call it
line between
unit.
A to B and extend it
call
to
it a unit.
infinity.
Call that a unit, and that unit could be miles, kilometers, whatever, right? Just one unit, a straight line. Right now, have you heard of the geometric shape a square, where you take that line and double it at perpendicular relationship to itself, and then return it back on itself using the right angles? 4 equal sides straight and 4 right angles, right? A square.
Yes, man.
Okay, right. So you're with us so far. Now, that square, could you orientate it horizontally?
What? Why you want to orientate the square?
Because
What
we're
for?
just playing
The
theoretically.
square has
We're
4
just
sides. Why do you
playing
need to
about with
orient?
concepts of straight
Why
lines and
you have to
geometric shapes.
orient the square when it has 4 sides? Then what for? Equal
Because you
sides.
orientate the square
But
horizontally.
you mean it will be parallel to horizontal?
Yes, all the horizontals will be
I don't
parallel
know.
to this square. This square would be on a horizontal plane, lying up on it.
That's your claim.
Well, no, I'm just saying conceptually. Can you imagine it?
I can conceptually you can rotate this plane.
Okay. Now, do you imagine that you could extend this square into the geometric shape a cube? You've heard of the geometric shape a cube. It's just a load of squares in a 3-dimensional shape.
I get the feeling you're stalling that again.
Okay. So you've got the bottom square that's on a horizontal plane, and at each corner of it, you're going to have a perpendicular that goes in the, just perpendicular to the horizontal plane, right? 4 corners.
You
Making a cube.
haven't proven that yet.
No, we just conceptually, we're thinking about
Don't say horizontal,
the
then.
cube. Well,
Don't say horizontal, Bev.
Well, it's got 6 sides. This cube, right? Now,
top, bottom, and 4 sides. Yes.
Okay, now can you place one of those squares on a horizontal plane? Doesn't
On
matter
a
which one.
horizontal
Any one of them.
plane?
Yes.
What is a horizontal plane, Bev?
This is where you're getting stuck again.
On a plane.
Yes.
I agree. You can
And then
place
that
it
plane
on
will
a
be
plane
orientated
because
horizontally.
Because
surely.
no.
What do you mean?
I
no?
don't know. I don't know, Bev.
You can't
You see,
imagine what a
I
horizontal
imagine
plane
everything
is.
you did, and
Yeah.
since you didn't prove that horizontal is perpendicular to vertical, I don't know. I can place it on that plane. You can call it horizontal. Why? Because you haven't proven it, Bev.
Haven't proven a horizontal plane.
You haven't proven horizontal being in 90 degrees to perpendicular. So everything you
it's
did
just
from
a
this
horizontal
vertical,
plane.
and
You don't know what a horizontal plane is.
And you want to place it on this horizontal plane?
Yeah, I want to orientate one of these squares of a cube horizontally. Do you think that's even conceptually possible?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, those squares that are perpendicular to it, when we said earlier about a vertical plane.
Go on. I know.
When we said about a vertical plane.
What about the squares, Beth?
are the squares that are perpendicular to the horizontal square, would they be vertical planes?
You haven't proven they will.
Well, they would be perpendicular to the horizontal.
You see, all this story, and was for nothing because you haven't proven anything to ask me question about something you haven't proven. Why?
We haven't proven. We're trying to.
You're
I'm
trying.
trying to talk to you, Chike. They're not a scientist, obviously, about the relationship of horizontal and vertical being perpendicular.
Yeah.
And I think that works quite well through the formulation of a cube. Because everybody can see that the sides of a cube, even
because once you moved it,
they're
and
all
placed
perpendicular to each other.
Because once you moved it and placed it on the horizontal, then I can tell that any of its or if its corner or lines is vertical. I can't.
Okay. Could you place one of the sides then on a vertical plane? Okay. Now, would the perpendiculars to the vertical plane, would they be horizontal?
Wait, I can make one of the sides parallel to vertical. I agree that vertical is a plumb bob. Plumb bob is not plane.
Okay, but one of the sides of the cube would be a square, and that square could be considered a planar shape, right? If the lines, if the lines that have been ended could be extended in a straight line, you could say that a square is on a plane, couldn't you?
Advanced simplicity, Bev. Less words.
Yes.
Say less. Talk.
Okay, so one of those squares. One of those
so
squares.
If it's a square, it's a plane, and it can be parallel to vertical. Go on.
So we place one of the squares of this, on a vertical, right? Now, what you could say is all of the sides that are perpendicular to that would be, you could say 2 of them would be vertical planes, and 2 of them would be horizontal planes.
No, I don't know.
And then the one that's opposite, the parallel one, would also be a vertical plane, wouldn't it? Because it would be parallel to the vertical of the one that we've placed upon the vertical plane.
Again, we defined vertical.
Geometrically, anyway.
We defined vertical as plumb bob, and I can't make it guarantee that extending it to a square, to a rectangle, will keep all the sides parallel to plumb. I can't.
Sophistry is terrible, Chike.
Yeah,
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
It's awful, Bev.
Yeah.
When you can't do your sophistry, you're stuck.
I'm trying to explain to you a cube and vertical and horizontal.
I understand cubes and verticals.
Model afflictions a bit too much.
I understand cube and verticals, and I will not agree to anything you said until it's proven.
I don't know why you're here.
Until it's proven.
I don't know what the idea is. Blue,
the idea is
the thing.
The idea is you need to prove. You need to give us a geometric proof to your claims. Any claims that you said that is not defined in geometry, you will have to prove it also.
You seem to struggle understanding what a horizontal plane is, Chike. You've said multiple times that you're not going to accept anything that I give you anyway. So I can't really see what the point of me being here is. I don't really know.
Since you couldn't define horizontal, we are left with a plane. I agree. Horizontal plane.
Who couldn't define horizontal?
You.
Yes, I defined horizontal.
No,
many
you didn't.
Times, Chike. You seem to be.
You said
struggling.
that it's parallel to another plane. But what is that plane that it's parallel to, Bev? It's
horizontal
just a plane.
Planes.
It's just a plane.
All horizontal planes are parallel to each other. So, yeah, it's all horizontal planes.
That may be, depends on the definition of horizontal. And you haven't defined it yet. You just gave it.
What have you defined it as?
I don't here to define it. It's for you
Why?
to define it.
This is a debate,
Because I
Chike.
don't want to strawman you, Bev.
No, Chike, this is a debate. You have an opposing point of view.
Yeah, my
not just a
opposing point.
I'm not going to accept
My
that. What
opposing
is
point.
your opposing definition for horizontal?
No, I
bias,
don't
Chike?
need to have opposing definition in logical
Yes, you
debate.
do. This is the debate,
In
Chike.
logical, it's a logical debate.
It's
not
a
the
debate,
one,
Chike,
not
about
the
vertical
dumpster
and
fire.
horizontal being perpendicular.
Correct.
If you've got no opposing argument to it or no opposing definitions for anything, what are you doing here, Chike?
Listen, Bev. When someone tells you,
what sort of a debate are you
when
hosting here?
someone tells
What's
you,
going on?
When someone tells you, no, plumb is not perpendicular to horizontal. Plumb is on the vector of gravity, and since the vector of gravity is defined by the Earth, that it's a sphere, then it's the pointing in all direction. You don't bring your bias and say logically to make a conflict, to make
Did you
to
just
make
say
him
it isn't?
listen. You said
no,
plumb it has an angle.
Perpendicular
You
to
don't
horizontal.
bring your Bev. What I said is that your definition of horizontal and vertical and your claim that they are perpendicular cannot be proven. I asked you, can you prove it? You said yes, you can prove it.
Of course you can.
So
prove
go
it.
ahead and prove it. You have a plane.
You won't
and you
accept
have a line.
anything, Chike. You don't know what a horizontal
you
plane
want
is.
me to
and
accept.
you just said that you deny that plumb is perpendicular to horizontal.
You failed to define horizontal.
Yeah, I've defined horizontal. Have you been drinking, Chike? Did you not hear at the beginning when we were going through the definitions?
Define horizontal.
This is ridiculous, Blue.
So
I'm gonna go. This is absolutely ridiculous. As expected, Chike's a nutcase. He hasn't got a clue. His sophistry is out off the fucking charts. I think he's more delusional than a sophist, though.
Go ahead.
To be honest,
you can run away.
I'm gonna. Oh, yeah. See you later. Thank you very much, Blue.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for hosting this.
Bye-bye.
Chike, you can, go stay live with Blue. You explain all of it to Blue. You weren't a very good host, Blue. I'm sorry about that, but Chike's, well, I tried my best. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can come back one day and we can talk about LIGO, because I listened to you guys Friday night and you said some
we
really
will do LIGO, yes.
Shit,
I'm out of here, Chike. But thank you very much, Blue. Yes, we will do the LIGO thing at some other point in time. No doubt we're going to have to do Lake Rakia, Pontchartrain Bridge soon as well.
Anytime. I'm ready.
So thank you very much. I'll be seeing you later. Thank you very much, Chike, for showing your delusions. See you later.
We can move to a live chat if you want.
Interesting, I suppose, would be the word. Yeah, we could go up to 24/7 and see if anybody else wants to join. Let's do that. Oh boy.
I'm sure they would.
That was all kinds of fun, wasn't it?
Can't define the horizontal. It's parallel to the plane of the horizon. So, okay, you have a plane. Go ahead.
Well, I was doing the best I could, obviously, to not be a part of the debate. That's not my job. But the real problem, I think a real problem they've got, if you gave them horizontal and just said, okay, fine, great. Now, prove every vertical is perpendicular to that horizontal. Blue, that would imply that implies that every vertical has to be parallel with every other vertical, and we can prove it is not.
Ben, I didn't even ask for every vertical.
I know you didn't get that far. But
one. Let's start with one.
So, I missed this part. What was Bev's definition of horizontal?
Parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that then asks the question, what is the horizon? I mean, if we're just simply talking geometry.
Look, I let him go with this definition. Go ahead. You have a plane, because the plane of the horizon doesn't say anything in geometry. So go ahead. A plane and a line, and now prove that they are perpendicular.
Yeah, I don't think Bev understood what he was supposed to be doing.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Well, I told him it's a geometrical logical debate, and I don't bring any model. I don't bring bias. I'm not going to define anything. I will prove his definition can't prove anything. Like he says all the time, we have proofs. Never present them. Says anyone can prove it to himself. That a proof is something you do for yourself. Really, why did Euclid wrote all his books? He could prove it to himself, and that's it.
Well, I also think that Bev does not understand what a mathematical proof actually is, because they suck.
Yeah.
I've tried to do. I took linear algebra in college. I thought I was doing the hey, let's learn linear algebra. No, I took the hey, let's learn how to prove linear algebra, and that was a pain in the nuts. Because you can't assume anything.
That's fine. You can assume whatever you want. When you debate, when you prove a logical fallacy, which I just did, you debate, you don't bring your bias. You don't say, no, this is not vertical. No, this is not the definition of horizontal. No, you tell me what is horizontal, and you tell me what's vertical, and now prove it. And every time you try to prove it, you go to some dictionary definitions, perpendicular goes to some elevation profiles drawing. That's not a proof. Follow your logic, follow your premises, and show me how perpendicular rise from vertical and horizontal according to your definition.
No, I get it. They have
But you're talking about
demonstrations. They don't have proofs.
Well,
the math imperative.
he finally said you can measure it. Measure is not proof. It's a measurement. If I and
Yeah.
you measure something to be in different, to be a different measurement, am I right? Do I hold the truth? Do you hold the truth? Who's holding truth?
Hmm. I just don't understand why they're fixated on the fact that horizontal has to be a preferential orientation in space.
Because it has to be for the Earth to be flat. That's why.
Well, yes.
No, for the level to be flat.
If you assume the Earth is flat, then horizontal and level are the same. So it's sort of a backwards interpretation.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a problem too. Give them like I say, like I continue to say, give them horizontal. Go ahead, fine. You got horizontal, you got it. I'm with you. Now prove every vertical is perpendicular to that one single horizontal.
And he did say measurement would be proof. So, field measurement has been provided. I don't know if it came up today, but field measurement has been provided. But then he says, oh, but instruments don't measure those distances. So So it's kind of like measurement is proof, but he doesn't like measurement, although he'll run around with that auto level of his and say, oh yeah, but you have to use a staff at 100 meters.
Well, measurement is only proof when it shows that the Earth is flat, not when it shows the Earth is curved.
And he says you can't look that far, but surprisingly, when someone says that the plane of the horizon, which is very far away, is okay.
And this is not new stuff. I mean, we keep on going back to Snellius, the Snell's law guy. We know him for Snell's law, but back in the day, he measured the curve of the Earth, I think, within 3% using an octant and a bunch of
And that was
steepers.
back in the day. It's been so replicated ever since. But he says instruments, you can't use them that far, but he used a P900 to infinity.
Yeah, that's why I bring this image, because it can't claim no working range for it. I don't think lenses coming with what, maybe they come with the minimum working range, but not up to infinity. They don't.
I thought your backside thing was very telling, and the fact that they rejected it out of hand is also very telling.
Well, confirmation bias is a thing.
I mean, I used the P900 to photograph the comet. That's pretty far away.
Yeah, pretty far.
Well, not to them.
Well, it's closer than 100 meters. Farther than 100 meters. That's for sure.
Yeah. I bet you got some stars in the background that were even further away.
Well, a
And
side
the
topic.
comet was moving. The comet was moving in front of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, did you get a nice image with a tail, or did you just get the green coma?
No, I just got the main nuke core and a coma, because
okay.
it's only a P900. I only collected 10 minutes of data.
Oh, okay.
Do
You have to get
tracking?
over. Pardon me?
Did you have tracking?
Say again, please.
Tracking.
Tracking, did you have?
No, I did not. I just had a P900 on a tripod, and I took 10-second exposures. I took I took 60 of them, and then used stacking softwares. But it was just a P900. Yeah. Now everybody else with their $5,000 telescopes, even they found it difficult to get a tail. But mostly, it can be done. But no, I just took a holiday snap with a P900.
Yeah, because if you do Google images or whatever, I was seeing these images with a tail, and I was like, that's not what I'm seeing. Through the 32-inch we got, we can pretty much only image the nucleus in the coma. We don't see a tail whatsoever. Although I didn't try very hard.
32 inches. What focal length?
It's basically an f8.
Yeah, f8 is not much. But f8, 32 inch times
Our
8.
field of view is about 25 arc minutes square.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just the tail is extremely faint. But anyway, I was just curious because you brought up the comment.
Where are all the blue model scientists? You don't join.
Do we know what Bev's crew, what their views on celestial objects are, or do they just not? Do they again just kind of punt on that?
They're lights in the sky.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care about Earth, let alone stars.
That's all. That's all Bev will ever call anything. He won't say the moon, the sun, stars, comets, asteroids, and nothing. They're all just lights in the sky. What the
And they
hell
hate
ever
human
that means.
accomplishment. They hate human accomplishment.
They get those lights in the sky get very close to the ground and even below it at night.
Yeah, pretty much every day.
His son had a video of it.
I also don't know. It's kind of like I've noticed on Discord with Bev. It's kind of like hitting a hamster hitting a food pellet button. Is if you mention flat Earth, he's going to say PSYOP. It's actually kind of funny.
I was very careful not to mention flat Earth. I promised him I wouldn't.
He really has a problem with with being called a
He would
flat
not-
earther for some reason.
He would very much like that I would mention flat Earth, but I haven't. I haven't mentioned anything about Plum, about the sphericity of level, nothing at all. All his definitions, and he couldn't prove that he can prove. He will do it in the summer sometimes, like he didn't do his test that he says that he have videos, just don't publish them.
Mhm.
Because it was kind of a private test. Doesn't stop him from telling he did it in every occasion he can, and 3 times in a row.
Mhm. Mm. I'm just starting to think that flat Earth must have touched him in some naughty places, uh, given his reaction to being called that.
No, I don't like these arguments that, like, to Strawman him. He says he's not a flat earther. So be it. He says level is a straight line. It's the same kind of stupid for me.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I'm
he
most
says
curious about that sort of
he says
dichotomy.
horizontal is parallel to level, and I bring him a proof that levels are not parallel to each other. And he says, why you bring level? We're talking about perpendicular to horizontal. So go right ahead. What he come up with? Elevation profile. And look, it's the elevation is perpendicular to the graph. Big deal.
Mhm.
Oh, that whole thing with XY graphs, that's just pissed me off. And when you put the arc in that one elevation profile, boy, he hated that.
He really did. And Blue asked him, let's say I'm going to draw it according to the curvature of Earth. Do you think you can do it? What? It will be tenths of a pixel up, something.
Yeah, a scale drawing of a 4,000-mile radius. Yeah, you're only dealing with, 10, 20, 50 miles at a time, or even 100 miles. Yeah, it's still graphically, you couldn't tell. Much like a photograph of the planet, doesn't look oblate because it's only a couple of pixels.
Do we have a Gary Wybanga in the chat?
Yeah, you have 50 miles there. So
Oh,
it's
Jesus
less
Christ!
than
Just do the math. If you've got you're trying to draw a radius that's 4,000 miles, and an arc segment of 100 miles is 2 feet. You need a compass that's 40 friggin' feet. No, more than that, 80 feet.
what's the Sagittarius on that distance?
Oh, I don't know. It's tiny. I mean, it would be you trying to do
50
that
miles.
mechanically. With pencil and paper would be just almost impossible. Why would anybody want to?
Right.
They love to bring up elevation profiles without ever hearing a damn word anybody says. The elevation profile is showing you a height above or below a datum. That's all.
Well, I
You
don't care
draw
what
the
it shows.
datum can be any shape you want it to be.
I don't
my
care
favorite-
what they show. How does it relate to reality? Someone drew a straight line on paper. Big deal. Go to reality now.
That's the
Well, my
easy
big
way of
question.
doing it. Why would you do anything other than that?
Well, my big question when they show the Panama Canal one is to ask them, why is the Pacific Ocean higher than the Atlantic Ocean?
Well, it isn't
Well,
by
it's level.
much, but
Well, it isn't by much, but it is.
Yeah,
foot difference
the
or
Red
something.
Sea. The Red Sea is 20 centimeters, I think, below the Mediterranean or vice versa. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, there's a difference in salinity of the oceans.
I'm not sure, but they have a difference. So what? There is a canal also there. It's open. It has no locks. So the water should rush in from one side to the other.
20 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a
Across,
lot.
I don't know how long. Well, the maximum is 20 centimeters. You know, you have tides and stuff. It always changes. The maximum is 20 centimeters.
That's the difference.
Oh, wait a minute. The difference in elevation between the sea level of the East Coast, sea level of West Coast, that's not 20 centimeters different. That's like many feet different.
Yeah, but many miles across. In the Panama Canal, it's very, very small.
It's still many feet.
Between the side of the Panama Canal? I saw tide data for Blackpool, which I put on the picture, and it seems to me that even low tide is always above sea level. I think it's the OD, the datum in wherever they establish it.
Well, you see like a harbor plot or pilot navigation charts. Quite often they're based on mean lower low water or mean low water. It's tough. You got to. Some of those can be quite misleading by several feet, particularly when they start talking mean lower low.
Well, it took them, I don't know, 100 years to establish this datum there, sea level. The ordinance, the new line datum, or tens of years.
All right, gentlemen, I got some work to do. It's been fun.
Glad you dropped by, Rob.
Yeah, no problem.
Sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, take it easy.
Well, that was about all the fun I needed to have for one night anyway. So. I know better than to do that again.
Did you have any super chat, something?
Yeah, I had a few, but I can't go back and read them now. They're too far
Well,
up in the.
you can give a global shout out.
Yeah, well, I think I caught everybody by thanking them in the chat anyway. Yeah, I had 2 or 3, and I really appreciated everybody. Glad you guys showed up. Man, we may do some more of these. I don't think I want to do that one again. So I'll tell you what, with that, I think I'm going to shut down the YouTube, say goodnight to everybody, and go find something to eat.
Okay, see ya.
All right, so all you guys take care.